All right, guys, just wanted to give you a little bit of an update here. My brother's truck went awesome. It's running good. The tune went well. We're pretty darn happy with how everything is working out. So the other reason I'm talking to you right now is the dyno video. There was a lot going on. We had a lot happening. There was a lot of people, which I love that. I love having people there watching. And we were working with the tune. My brother wants to learn how to tune, and I'm no expert tuner. I have a lot to learn. There's many things to learn there. But the tuning side of things takes a long time. So I was going through and trying to kind of teach him a little bit on the tuning stuff, so you know he learns that so he can do his tuning by himself and he won't need us for it. The dyno is pretty new to us. We bought it last year and it's an old dyno. I can't remember the model or anything like that, but it's an old dyno and we have a lot to learn on it. There isn't any support for it. We called Dyno, actually Dynocom, and they don't support that dyno anymore. It's old enough to where they don't have any data for it or any new software updates or anything like that. So we bought it used. It worked good for the people we bought it from, and we went ahead and started fighting our way through it. So we were learning two things at once on the dyno. We strapped my brother's truck on it. The first pull was kind of get a baseline. We just wanted to run through, check the truck out, make sure it was going to be good to go, and then send it on down through there. So the following pulls, I think the first pull, it recorded 800 horse or something like that. That's not what that truck makes. It physically can't make that kind of power. It just it's a naturally aspirated 6-liter. It doesn't have the gumption to do so. The second pull, on the second pull, we wanted to make a bunch of changes in the tune to accommodate the fuel. We were able to do a little bit of street tuning on it and get it pretty close, but we didn't know, way up there in the RPM where it was going to be at. And also kind of through the mid-range. We had the cruising around, we had cruising really good. And then the mid-range, we didn't have any of that touched yet. We had the high RPM up to 6,000. Well, we wanted to take this motor 65, 6,600. Just to see where it was at. So we hadn't touched that portion of the fuel table yet. So we needed to get up there to see that. So the first and second pulls were kind of baselines, figure out where the tune was, and go from there. The third and fourth pulls these pulls were meant to really dial in our fuel table. And we got within 5-6%, which the short terms can correct, up to 5%. So we knew that there was still a little bit of tuning that we had to do there. And after that, we wanted to just use the time on the dyno to play with the dyno. There's a bunch of correction factors that you put in on the dyno. So on the dyno, there's a bunch of correction factors that can change for altitude, resistance on the rollers. I didn't get to look a whole lot at that. I was focused more on trying to make sure the tune was dialed in, more so than I was with the dyno stuff. So the dyno, my buddy Connor and my dad, they were the ones that were running the dyno. So we were using the dyno to dial in the tune on the truck. As long as there was resistance on the rollers, it was putting a load on the engine, and therefore we were able to use that data to somewhat accurately get our fuel table dialed in. And we feel confident now we can take that truck to the track and make some good hits on it, and I don't have to worry about the fuel table being so far out that it can't keep up. So the last couple pulls, the last 2 pulls, they were back-to-back runs trying to see if we could repeat information on the dyno. So when we started doing pulls, first pull showed like 800 horsepower and 1100 torque or something like that. We knew there was no way possible for it. The last pulls, the last 2 pulls showed 170 horse and 165 horse. Now that is, in my opinion, is a little bit on the lean side. I think that truck should put down somewhere in the ballpark of 300 to 400 horse in reality. So we have an idea of where the truck should be, but we're trying to get the dyno portion figured out. So we're gonna do some more talking to some people, and maybe if you guys want, leave me a comment or thumbs up or let me know. And if you guys want, we will throw this on the dyno. We'll get some good video of it cruising around on the dyno and maybe see what kind of power it can make. So if you guys want to see more dyno content, just let me know and we'll get this thing on the dyno. So the truck on the dyno overall did awesome. Dyno learning curve, everything was just a learning curve. So we were working through a lot of stuff all at once. Okay.
No, just go through, guy. If anything, you
couple things on the car. We have made a couple little changes to it to hopefully pick up a little bit of mile an hour here and there. Now, as everyone knows, there is a glue shortage at tracks for prep. So what our track is doing to try and compensate for that is we are going to be running only 1/8 mile for pretty much the rest of the year. Now, the car, we set it up with a 31/16.5 on a 410 gear. So bigger tire, taller gear, I can get away with way more mile an hour than I can get on a small tire. And there's the big tires. To put it in perspective, this is a 2912 laying there. That's a 31/16.5 laying there. And that little baby thing right here is a 28-10.5. Now, the idea behind this is, being we are only running 1/8 mile this year, we can be okay, we can run it out. We should have plenty of RPM to work and not be stretching things out too far. The second thing that we've done to the car to hopefully pick up a little bit is we threw in a second fuel pump. The one is gonna be controlled by Holly, and the second one is gonna be controlled by a toggle switch inside the car. The problem with this is when I turn the second one on, it overpowers the fuel pressure regulator. Being as I'm still on the stock fuel rails and stock regulator, there's no way to adjust any of that. So I just have to be careful. I can't drive around the street with 80 pounds of fuel pressure at idle. So we are gonna try and see, and I say we by me and my buddies, and see if we can get a little creative with timing the fuel pump. So I'm gonna go in, the plan right now is we're gonna pre-stage the car. I'll turn the second fuel pump on, go ahead and bump through the beams and be on our way. The idea behind this is we're not going to be sitting at that much fuel pressure for that long to where hopefully it's not overpowering what our injectors are doing and screwing up the idle circuit and making the car not run right. But we will know more this weekend. So this weekend there's a race Friday night here in town. It's our local grudge night. And then Saturday there's a bracket race. I'm not sure if I'm gonna run my car Saturday or not. I haven't quite made up my mind. If I do, I'm gonna have to put them back on it, because the class that I run on Saturdays for bracket racing requires a DOT tire. Now, the tires that we put on the car are just a Mickey Thompson ET Drag, there it is, ET Drag 28-10.5. So that tire is not legal in the class that I run on Saturdays. Not a big deal, takes 5 minutes to change tires. So for the car, we've got it just about ready to rip. I need to give it a wash, of course, make her all pretty, and load it up in the trailer, and then we'll be ready to go. Upcoming videos. I have a race, like I said, I have a race this weekend. So I'm gonna have video of the truck and the car. For sure Friday night, it may just be some bracket racing for Saturday, which I think that would be kind of cool. Show you guys some of that. And we'll go from there. That video, the racing video, should be up Sunday morning. So you guys are watching this, it's Thursday, and the racing video should be coming out the following Sunday. So until then, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, make sure to leave me a like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you guys. We'll see you on the next one.